Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. It's a little bit chilly here today. Yeah, it was the strangest thing last night. It was about, right before dark. Doug was outside and he yelled, "Hey, Barb, look in the east." I looked in the east and it wasn't a storm cloud coming in. He said, "Look at that dark cloud." And it wasn't fog. It looked like some kind of toxic something. And over to the west, the south, and the north, there wasn't anything but clear skies except for this luminous, and I think it tasted kind of metallic. It was really weird, really, really strange. I'd never seen anything. It didn't look like fog. It looked like and I know the neighbors have been shooting off fireworks. And I thought at first, I said, well, maybe, something caught on fire. He said, yeah, but it's coming from the east and they live south of us. And it's like, well, that's true. But I tried to look up on our local news whether it was something, like some kind of, train derailments have seemed to be spewing toxins all over the United States or God knows where. So my topic today is prayer. Now, I do have faith there's a God, and I know that I'm getting to the point where I hear a lot of narcissists are the ones that are like if everybody prays together for the same thing, good things can happen. But this is out of like some pretty terrible people that I've heard stuff like this out of that I'm talking about. And I do have circumstances in my life that I feel prayers have gotten answered. But was that just fate? How do you feel about prayer? I mean, I find myself within my spirit talking to God. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe we're just delusional. Or maybe my heart is just so sad and I'm sick of it. And then a person could say, well, you're not going to get everything you pray for because our Father knows more what what is better for us than we do for ourselves, which that could be part of it too. I'm just thinking out loud with everybody here. Like I say, don't let my bad temperament as far as my sadness um inflict anything on you, you know, like that. I'm struggling today, not with faith. I mean, I know, I'm going to be okay in my life no matter what. That I do know. That's where my faith lies. But as far as having individual prayers answered, how's that working for everybody? Hasn't been working too darn good for me. Just wondering, I mean, where are you at with that? You know? And it's not that my love or my faith or what I would ask for would be anything out of the norm of human desires, like my children to be safe and sound of mind and heart and soul, and people to find ways to get along in this world and not be hungry or homeless or all these things that people would typically pray for, and they don't come true. Just wondering, because They haven't. I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I'll never follow Satan. I mean, that's a fact. If that's what I've got to do on this planet in order to get my desires fulfilled, well, then, that, you know, you know, forget it. I mean, I'm in a little better mood than I was yesterday, but it's been a rough few days, especially not sleeping well, but I did sleep much better last night. I was pretty much pain free. I watched a little closer that I didn't eat anything too terrible for me. I had made chicken gravy a few nights ago, and I had taken that and added more vegetables and made pot pies out of it for Doug and I. So they were good. It was easy. You just take like I put it in a buttered pie dish, and then you mix up a little like pancake mix. I had the complete stuff, you just add water, but I added a little cream in there also to give it a little something tastier on the vegetables. And then you pour it over and you just bake it for like 40 minutes at 350. And so if you have like you make your chicken and you have gravy and add veggies, put it in a buttered dish, pour a little pancake mix on top, and instead of having all the carbohydrates from making like the pastry crust for the um it doesn't taste just like um pot pie. Tastes more like the top of a cobbler, like a peach cobbler or something like that. So, but it was good. I had seen somebody else make it. I think it was Becky off a Hillbilly Kitchen had made it, and a couple other people. And I thought, well, I have the ingredients. I'll just try it, and it was good. So to use up just something I had too. So, but yeah, it's been weighing on my mind because, um, I mean, how many tears can a person cry over one person? I mean, eventually you're going to stop crying. Eventually, either you're just going to get discouraged or angry or just walk away from the whole ordeal because, I mean, you can hold out hope for a person, you know, but if you hold your breath, you might die doing it. I mean, it's just like I would hope that the woman that had went to adopt me would feel how I feel and understand and connect with me and get a hold of me expressing her love. That would be one of my major prayers. Well, how many in times do I have to pray about something? And it could be, oh well, I could take steps, movements to make that come true for myself. I have beyond measure, like you wouldn't believe. Um, it's not little, but things like that in my life that I just can't ignore the reality of prayers not answered, you know. Is it fate? I mean, does it matter if we pray or not? If prayer works, how's that going for Jerusalem? You know? How are the Muslims doing with that? How are the Christians that pray out loud that their son or daughter will get off of drugs and they end up dying on the street? How's all that working for everybody? You know? Who are they praying to? You know? Like I said, I'm just talking out loud. I mean, I know there's forces of good and evil. I'm just talking about praying in particular and whether or not that really makes a difference, because then you have people that would say, well, God knows my heart. Well, if he knows our hearts, why do you have to pray? He already knows what's in your heart, what you would ask for. What do you have to ask somebody 2,000 times? Because I know, just as a parent, who likes a redundant child? You know, if you have a child ask for a candy bar and they ask for it 4 or 5 times a day, or a week or a month or whatever it is that they want, um, you already know they want it, you know? So, so, would somebody think that I would be lacking faith? I mean, I have faith that my soul's going to go on and be with God. But on this planet, I don't see much evidence of um, the grace of God through prayer, that it has really done anything. I mean, you could say, well, a bunch of people could get together, or where two are gathered, there, Christ could be found. What good has that done? Has it done any good? Or here's one, that Christ fights battles that we don't see to keep us safe. Well, and then condemn us because we would want evidence of that? Of course I want evidence that somebody loves me. They say they love me. Let me see some of my prayers come true, or I'm done praying, you know? I'm not going to pray for a person that has a cold heart and cold ways and is only tender-hearted when it serves them, you know? Forget it. Maybe it's because, and it's not out of bitterness. Nothing will take my love of people out of my heart, you know? I'm not going to replace it with angry bitterness and hatred towards my creator because of it. I just want to know what the fuck is going on, you know? Like I said, just speaking my mind out loud. But yeah. So, what do you think about that? How many prayers have you prayed? I mean, earnestly, like getting down on your knees and just begging God, like falling apart, putting everything in His hands. And then if you're denied, I mean, what is that? You know? Yeah. So I'm more one where I envision things that I need to do in my life, and I take steps to make that can come true for myself, and I believe that that's closer to the reality of the whole thing. Like I said, if prayer for the chosen people hasn't saved them and they're still such victims, well, wouldn't they stop being victims after all their prayers came true? Really, you know? That goes back to my lack of respect for people with the victim mentality, you know? It's like, get a grip. Really. Are you going to sit there and tell, I'll just use this for an example, but are you going to sit there and tell some starving orphan in Africa that you're more of a victim than that child, that parentless child, or, you know, really, in all reality? And do people think what? That child doesn't pray or cry to God, you know? So what good is it really doing? Who's actually in control of this planet? Nobody, except for the so-called world leaders that consider themselves like godfathers and overlords. You know, why do the well-to-do in England call themselves lords and ladies? You know, I don't know. Yeah, my heart's pretty sad. I'm just sick of people's crap. When I have sneaky things done to me and I can't prove it, I really am to the point. I mean, yeah, I hate to say taking matters into my own hands, but I will say drawing a line of what I'll accept around me and what I won't. Praying hasn't helped. Sometimes there's no hope for the hopeless. Sometimes in life, you could be equally yoked with somebody if they pulled their part, but then if they tell you that you're the one not pulling your part, but you're going different directions, well, you could be equally yoked, but you're not, you know? That's what's happening in my life. I have never, Doug and I cannot work together. I mean, we have it like for somebody else. We both worked in the same body shop, but as far as actually completing something and doing it together, the only time we work well together is if he can't do it by himself. If it's absolutely something that he needs my help with and that bothers him, he wants to do it all alone, and therefore we don't get the amount of things we could get done if we actually work together. And I can't make somebody do or see something that they just refuse to see, you know. Maybe you're going through something like that too. I don't know. I bet somebody is. It's just like, geez, if they could just do that, I could do that much more that they wouldn't have to do. And then we get so much more done and we both be happy. But it can't go like that, you know. Praying about it doesn't can help. It really doesn't. I'm not giving up hope easily. This is 35 years of hope and prayer. You know, this isn't something just willy-nilly like, oh, all of a sudden Barb stops praying. Well, you know, so another thing's happening too. I mean, in my heart, I would love to be able to talk to my youngest son on the phone. He's been calling from, he's incarcerated, but I can't do that. First, I can't afford it. Um, but it's like Doug takes so much glee pushing that button that he won't accept that, and then happier than hell that I can't have my children in my life because they're monsters. It's not little things in my life that are going on that I pray about. These are massive things. So, and I'm in a lot of pain. Just too, if my kid would write me a letter, I could write him back. But, you know, so yeah. A lot of things going on. And I mean, no matter what I say, there'll always be a reason why my thinking isn't accurate in the situation. Uh, But, and it isn't even out of just jealousy, it's out of, uh, I really can't pinpoint what it is with Doug and my sons, because a long time ago he could have had their love and their friendship, and he did everything humanly possible to alienate them. So, yeah. He's not really good with his own daughter either. So anyway, it's just the way it is. But then he talks about if everybody would get together and pray, or if he said yesterday or this morning, one of the two, that if we prayed about things and that he prays for me. I'm thinking, right, okay, I'm absolutely certain that he prays that my children and I will be united again, um, as a healthy family. That will never happen. And if he were to ever say that, it would be a lie. But I have heard things that he prays for my sons. No, he prays on them. That's my opinion. So that's what I'm dealing with lately. It's been rough. So, yeah. I just wanted him not to work on a truck that he says he has to make room for another one that's got to come out of the shop so he can get that in there. If he would have got the lawnmower going, I could have mowed the whole lawn. I used to do that when I moved in here for rent. I didn't just move in somebody's house. I gave up my house. I came here. I paid the bills. I did all the yard work. Then when I was working, I paid for all the food, you know, and other things in our lives, and helped with the mortgage to pay this place off. And then we got equity loans a couple times and paid it off 3 times, you know, literally helping like that. I was okay to help like that, but yeah. But I mean, it's just little things, you know. I don't know. He's cleaning up other people's yards for free wood, and yeah, we need the free wood. It's gas money, but I can't even go outside. The grass is actually 3 feet tall. Really. So I'm just like talking about priorities and prayer and hope and being equally yoked with somebody, and whether or not that's an actual thing in the world. Maybe up to a point, but I've never really seen it full-fledged. Never. Not the way it should be. There's always something that's off with any couple I've ever met. One of them or both of them. you know, rare that you would find two people with God in their hearts working together in the world for the world with that mindset. And I'll never be convinced that's what I found. No, not now. It's not ever going to happen. So, I just wonder how people are feeling about prayer. Do you think it works or not? I used to think it did until some really important things that could be remedied and rectified just aren't. And there's no reason. There's no reason why a lot of these prayers can't come true. And what we're supposed to wait and wait and wait and keep praying, keep prayed up, you know, as they say. Anyway, yeah. What gets me the most in life is people that would want my help in life but don't see when I need help, or people that will talk to me when it serves them but not when I need to talk. And I'm not speaking about you, my friends that are listening to me here. You evidently hear and feel and see something in me that you can relate to. So, you know, I'm not telling you this towards you. I'm just telling you this about me today and how I'm feeling, you know. So I know I'm going to snap out of it. Probably by, usually, and I'm not going to let myself get depressed. Used to be times like this, bad things would happen, and um, I can't talk because whatever I say goes in a different direction from what I meant it to be, and it never is a healthy conversation where a person could say, well, I didn't really get what you said there, or what you said just made me angry, so we'll come back to this in a little while, or whatever. Nothing is ever human like that in my life with just about everybody I know, you know. Yes. Anyway, so it's just like, okay, somebody that's a shady type person. You know they are. They know you know it, but the rest of the world doesn't know it. So they can keep saying they're Christ-like to you. No matter what you say, it doesn't matter, you know. They can tell you to keep praying until you take your last breath and be laughing at you every day that you keep hoping for better when there is never going to be any better. They just get better at hiding their dark ways, but it's still there. The type of person that you can just feel the darkness off of them, you know. I can't ignore those people anymore, you know. But I really am interested to hear how people feel about prayer. I mean, I'm sick of these, you know, well, God knows what's better for us. And that's why our prayers didn't get answered. Mm, right. Okay. Well, then it doesn't matter if I pray or not because I don't know if it's going to come true or not. And my time is valuable, isn't it? Doesn't God think my time's valuable? Aren't we? Aren't our minutes and hours and days on this planet valuable? Oh, I see. We're victims of the original sin that we did not commit. So we're being tormented and tortured and toyed with like fucking puppets because we deserve what somebody else did to us. That's a good one too, isn't it? Like childbirth. We suffer in childbirth because some dumb so many thousands of years ago had a snack she shouldn't have ate, you know? But then all female species of different animals on this planet cry in childbirth. They traverse in labor. So they must have been a part of that sin too, you know? Well, I know that's some bullshit right there. Because I'm not taking the blame for what somebody else did, you know? I'm not accepting it. Maybe the rest of the people out there, Christians, maybe you want to accept that shit, what Adam and Eve did, and you're suffering for it, but I'm not accepting it anymore. So I'm not begging God to show me graces on this planet that I deserve, or that I'm so filthy of a sinner that I have to beg for salvation. Fuck that. I didn't do shit to anybody, and I'm not begging fucking nobody for nothing. And that's how I feel about it. So, and this is what happens when the dark cabal messes with somebody with a good heart, and they're probably going to get hurt if it keeps up. And I can't get out of here. I have to write a letter. I have to have enough wherewithal in this next coming week to help my financial situation, and hopefully I can do that, you know. So anyway, my abilities to do things and um function even with the vehicle. I mean, everything doesn't go as smoothly in my life as a lot of people would think, and it is sabotaged on purpose. There's a lot of things that I just can't prove that are absolutely true, you know? So, well, I'm going to get this uploaded and just rest assured, yeah, I am in good spirits deep down inside, but I have a lot of sorrows, and it's not depression, it's actual shit going on, you know? How do you overcome something that's ongoing? You know, that's one I'd like to know, you know. But maybe this is the part in the scriptures where the prayers cease, because it seems to be I haven't been praying as much as I used to. And when I do, um, seems the only time that they actually are answered is a part of the facade, a part of here's a little bit for the person that actually is in control of that. Because I know my willpower works. I know when I put something to play individually in my life away from people that would have a certain amount of control in society over me. If I remove myself from that situation, I move a whole different direction in my life wherever I choose. So, hoping for something to work out when people are unequally yoked, all the prayer in the world, all the hope in the world, it hasn't worked. And it doesn't matter. That's my thoughts on that. So, and if prayer worked, like I said, how are those Israelites doing with all that? They're still victims, the worst kind of victims. So I bring up 100 million red people died, and thousands of Native Americans go missing every year, and they're almost extinct, far beyond any other culture on this planet. And what I hear out of dipshit is, well, this Jabiru has caused more genocide in the world. I didn't say in the world. I'm talking about one culture of people that are being eliminated off this planet for some ungodly reason that isn't being brought to the surface in people's hearts and minds or our government for some odd reason. So, those are the things that are on my mind today. So, well, everybody, I do appreciate you joining me. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on prayers, your thoughts about my thoughts. Please don't be scared. Talk to me. You know, I'm not going to chew your head off much. Probably not. Takes a lot. It really does. You can believe that. And my love is true. I think I can hate and love at the same time. I'm finding that out. I mean, one individual person. Actually love them and hate them at the same time. But then I've had people I used to love and I started hating, and I never started loving them again. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it just leads to hatred, and that's where it stands, you know. Okay, I'll be back soon. Not sure when, but yeah. Okay. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day, wherever you're at.